Hey, this is Dean Soto with freedomin5minutes.com, and today we're going to be talking about how to have more free time as a business owner. And there's several aspects to this, going from the very basic aspect of trying to get more free time from what you're doing right now to being a little bit more advanced, but having it to where you have literally gobs and gobs and gobs and gobs of free time to the point where you have to get used to utilizing that free time in a very high value way. Okay. So we're going to go through all of the different possibilities, all of the different things, whether you are a new business owner or you're an established business owner, or even if you don't have necessarily a business, it's a great way to start thinking. So the initial thing that we talk about is going to be more tactical, whereas later on we're going to talk about something that's a little bit more strategic, okay? Strategic mindset shift, okay? So first things first is that what does it mean to have more free time? Okay. So what does it mean to have more free time as a business owner? Well, as the temptation is that to think, oh my gosh, I just have a lot of work, and it'd be nice to be able to to work less, essentially go from 40 hours a week down to 30 hours a week. Okay. Well, that's possible in the very beginning stages. If you wanted to do, if it's possible only if really truly you personally are wasting time. And I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit, but that's only if you personally are truly wasting time. What do I mean by that? It means that you're not using your time wisely. Okay. You're not using your time in a very high value way, or in a way where you're really maximizing what you have. So a lot of people who own businesses will be caught into the day-to-day stuff. And so it's not the easiest thing to change like right away. So if you're in the day-to-day stuff, one of the biggest things you can do is, in the beginning of the day, write out all of the things that you really truly have to do. So the biggest thing is, I would say 3 to 5 things that if you really got those things done, the rest of the day would be smooth. You might have some day-to-day stuff. You might have other things, but really 3, 4, maybe 5 things max that really need to be done that day. Write them down in the very beginning of the day, and those are the things that you're going to attack. Now, those things, you want them to be high value, and not necessarily just things that you're like a fire that you're putting out. This is something that's like not really, it might be urgent, but it's not really important. Okay. You want it to be important, but not necessarily urgent. So for example, for me, one of the things that I'm going to be doing today is growing my, is expanding my customer retention program on ActiveCampaign. So sending gifts, things that gather data about a customer, and so on and so forth. Things where as soon as somebody comes in as a prospect, it's trying to gather data, get to know the person, be able to speak to them differently, things like that. That's something that won't be done in a day, but I can get a good chunk of it done. And what's the beauty of it is that once it's done, it's automated, it's gathering data, and it's helping me to market my services in the future. Okay. So the second thing when it comes to that is that, so with that, you can see that that's a high value task. The second thing about it is that it's not really urgent, right? It's not something that has to be done right now, but it's something that will give benefit in the future, okay? And the more that I do that, the more that I do those types of tasks, the more free time I'm going to have later. So you're really investing your time now to have free time later, okay? Because once this is done, I don't have to personally email somebody to ask how they're doing. I don't have to personally send gifts. I don't have to personally do certain things. I'm able to very quickly get the stuff that I want automatically by investing my time right now, right? So that's what so that's an example of what I'm talking about right now. That for me is one of the big things I need to get done. Okay. So the second thing when it comes to having more free time, is, so that was more tactical, writing the 3 to 5 things down, getting those things done. The second thing is assessing what you have right now. Do you have employees? Do you have a team? Or are you a one-person show? And seeing where things are going that either you could give to a team member, or where you're really doing something that can either be automated or can be that doesn't need to be done by you on a regular basis. Okay, really, it's kind of doing a self audit on what you're doing. So, for example, if you are, a lot of the times you will have proposals, right? You have agreements or proposals, especially if you're a service-based business, you're going to have these agreements and things like that go out. Are you the one that's doing those proposals? And yes, they might have to be customized. They might have to have certain things, but having a way to kind of systemize how that works allows you to then either automate it through something like Zapier or some kind of program, or you can hand it off to somebody else, okay, and just give them the system of how to go about doing that. So if you're spending, an hour a day doing proposals, once you're able to hand that off or to automate it, now you have that free extra hour to do to do something that's actually meaningful, right? So auditing what you're doing right now. Do you really truly have to do this right now? Do you really truly have to do this? One particular customer of mine, what they were doing, all of the prospects would send in questionnaires. They would do all of the strategy. They'd do all of these things and send proposals, thinking that they had to be the ones doing that. And for them, they did not actually. They had it in their mind, oh, this is too complex for anybody else to do. But in reality, we changed a few things up. We set things up a little bit differently. And they now have somebody overseas who is a virtual systems architect doing hours and hours and hours of work that they were doing before free. And so for the business owner, they had an extra 4 hours a day, 4 to 5 hours a day to do higher value stuff, higher value strategy, reaching out to strategic partners and things like that. Pretty amazing what you can do when you're in that type of situation, right? So with that being said, auditing what you're doing right now and seeing really truly, do I have to be the one doing this? If it's not, then we either automate it or we find somebody who can do it for us for a much lower cost, right? And then lastly, the number 3 is really the biggest mindset shift of them all, is what systems do I currently have in my business? Whether they are on paper or whether they are in my head, there are systems, there are processes, there are things that are going on in my business right now, that even if I don't realize it's a process, even if I don't realize that it's a system, and I think it's too complicated to put down onto paper, what right now am I doing that is really truly a system that I can document? I can document step by step and then hand it off to a team member, hand it off to somebody else, right? What truly is a system that I have? And it kind of follows along the lines of the auditing, but with the auditing, you can actually automate things and so on and so forth. This is really just thinking literally about everything that you were doing and seeing, this is the biggest part, seeing that it is a system, no matter what. I've very rarely ever found any type of business where the person who's doing what they're doing isn't actually doing it in a systematic way, even if it's just in their head, it's a habit, it's what they've been doing all the time, right? Even if that's what it is, okay? So yeah, it's the idea on this step is that to see what you are actually truly doing every time you are doing something, okay? To see what's really truly going on as you are doing that thing, because then you can document it. You can document it step by step, and now that becomes a system that you can hand off. And if every system that you have, like say you're doing 7 hours of systems a day that you're able to document, that's 7 hours that you can hand off to somebody else. And now you have a ton of free time. A ton of free time. I mean, what would you do if you had 7 hours extra a day to strategize, marketing, strategize strategic partnerships, business development, all of those things? It would be absolutely amazing. So, or just spend time with your family. Go and work out. Go become healthy. All of those things, right? There's so many things that you can do. So number one is more of the tactical 3 to 5 things a day that if you do them, they're going to be really high value things and eventually are going to take time off of your plate. Okay. Number 2 is auditing what is truly being done through the day and seeing what can be automated, what can't, what can be handed off, what can't. And then number 3 is really looking at your systems, looking at what you're doing right now and seeing exactly what systems I am doing on a day-to-day basis. Because with those three things, or maybe I should do it like this, those three things, you're going to have a massive amount of free time, especially when you document systems. So, and if you want to see how to easily document systems, go to freedomin5minutes.com. You can document a system in 5 minutes with a virtual systems architect. There's a masterclass showing the exact strategies that we use for doing documented systems, documented processes in 5 minutes, sometimes even less. But you can go check out that masterclass. There's a whole bunch of stuff. freedomin5minutes.com. Hopefully this has helped. And I'd love to do some more stuff on free time and all of the different things you could do once you actually do have more free time. But for now, I think we'll end this video. So let me know. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything like that. I'll do another video. So, all right, Dean Soto, Freedom in 5 Minutes, and I'll catch you later.